Okay, so we don't have any styling yet for our to-dos. Let's go ahead and start creating some styling there. So same as last time, we're going to create a special file just to hold them. So we're going to import todo.scss. And of course, this file does not exist yet. Okay. And within here, we have our to-do class again, and we'll make it gray like the other background. This one and color so black. And give it a little space. Excuse me. I want to flex it and justify space between. Okay. So, and of course, align item center here. We don't want things getting out of line. And add a little padding. And our famous border radius. And I already know that we're going to need it for more than one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and make our thing again here. Border radius is 0.25 m, and we're going to use that here. Okay, and finally, let's give this a nice little solid border. Same like the input on the other one. Nice. Okay, so a couple things about this. First of all, obviously, these are not matched up. And so what I'm going to do is fix that. We're going to go to this one, knock out this 90%. And then to what I would like to do here now is make the input, I still need this to come away. So if I make this one a width of say 75%, this appears to be working. I don't know if it's really working. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, I thought I might have to put position relative on there, but it looks okay. So that's good. And now we'll come back in here and keep going. So inside our to-do, we have a couple of buttons. Now, I don't want these buttons to be evenly spread like this. So I have to make another div to hold them because they are spaced between. So we're going to just drop in a div here and bring in all of my buttons. That throws them together. However, I don't actually want them directly together like that. So we're going to say button plus button. This will be something like margin left 0.25 m. And that separates them just a little bit. Okay, now for the buttons themselves, they're a little bit on the uglier side. So let's go ahead and style it buttons. Like before, I'm going to change the border, solid 1 pixel. Like so, I should probably turn that into a variable also, but not yet. We'll go to border radius. Border radius. And cursor pointer, I think. Yeah, it's not changing. So cursor pointer. There, that's good. And a little bit of padding maybe. That's better. Okay, now I want to change the colors of these Font Awesome icons here. So I know that one of them is button edit and the other is button delete. And what I don't know is if I actually have these classes on here because I didn't separate these out, and I do not. So class name equals edit, and on this one, class name equals button. Okay, lovely. So within each of these now, because these are font awesome icons and we're using SVGs, I can't just say color gold, for example. This doesn't work. What I need to do is target the SVG itself, and then inside there, I can say color gold, and that should work. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So now for delete, I want to do the same thing basically. We're going to say SVG, but the color is going to be red. In this case. Okay. And okay, so that's looking a lot better. Now, when we hit the edit button, we get our input, and this button turns into a band. So this is going to happen inside of edit. And this thing, if we go and inspect it, we can see here that this guy has a class of FA ban. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to say here, the FA ban, SVG, if it's there, should have a color of tomato. So that fixes that little problem. Now I want to use, I think, the same styles as I used for the other input here. So what I'm going to do is bring it like so. I'm just going to say input. Just going to steal my own styles off the form, all of these. And we'll see if we actually need them all or not. I don't know if we do. Yeah, this 75 looks no good. Let's make this quite a bit bigger. Not that big. Okay, that looks decent, but this is not tall enough. So I have 0.25 padding on the other, on the button, and now I have it here too. So that should work just fine. Okay, looking pretty good. So now the last thing we have to do is, you'll recall that the way we're marking things done is by adding a done class when we double click, but right now nothing kind of happens here, right? So what I would like to do is get my hands on the label. And we did add the class, but we did not add a label to this class here. So here I'm going to say to do label. That way we always have a label to it. Now we'll come down here and we'll say do label. And in the case when it's done, I want to say text decoration line through. Get that nice little sort of you're done thing. But you'll notice that when we're clicking around on this, it's kind of annoying. It selects all the text. So I don't want that to be the case. I'm going to disable that. So user select is none. And with that, now we can double click and it doesn't do that annoying thing, but there's something else annoying. You can't tell that it's clickable, really. So I'm going to go ahead and do my cursor pointer again. Now I think this is basically done. If I go and change this, we have buy milk. That works. I can cross it off, not cross it, edit it, change my mind, and I notice that we have a bug here. So this bug is when after you have edited it the first time, it loses the contents of the of the container here. So what I'm going to do is save my changes now. So let's go ahead and save all the changes here. This is going to be style for the to-do element. Is implement styles, I guess. Now we're going to do some bug fixing and then we're going to keep going and test this application. So this situation is if I add a new item and then I edit it, this part's fine. The issue is the next time I go to edit, this form is empty. And the reason for that is going to be very simple, I believe. In the to-do itself, and normally what we would do here is, I think, create a test to replicate this behavior. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on this part. I think what I would rather spend the time on is going to be the back end and the deployment. So I think here we just don't want to set this off. And I think that will save it. We're going to go ahead and check what's going on here. So this breaks something. If I add, this. Okay, so if I add one, and then I come in, this part works, we edit it. This part is fine. This is still back. That does fix the problem, but it breaks our tests. So the question is, what is wrong with it? So it has an edit button. Oh, our test is broken because we're expecting the words. It broke when I got rid of all the font awesome icon stuff. So we got to come in here and fix all that. So, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just save this one git fix here. So this was a fix of do, which is form does not show task on subsequent edits, because it isn't just the second one, it's more than that. Okay, now we need to fix all this stuff. So this is button, this is to do test. And we're at line 50 and change here. So this to have text content is what's failing. And really what we're going to expect, I think, we need to expect that get by, well, there isn't a get by class, right? Let's see what we got in here. So first we're going to switch this to dot only. Then we're going to switch this to only that test. Okay. So now, we have to see what's in there, unfortunately. So we are expecting here. So we have this thing and the button. So how do we get this? I don't know. Does it have a label? It does not. Can we give it a label? Maybe we can give it a label. That would be good. That'll solve two problems at once. that would improve accessibility and it'll solve our testing problem. So in here, if I say label equals icon or something, label equals the icon, it's actually kind of terrible. Label is going to equal label. Oh, well, for this one, aria label label equals delete. And then for this one here, we want aria label equals edit. That should be fine, I think. Okay, so let's try and get those done. So here I want, instead of this, I would want now const UI equals screen.get by label text. This will be edit. And if we do that, then we should be able, I think, to expect UI to have a class of FA, what is it? FA dash pencil alt or something. Yeah, pencil alt. Aria dash label. Okay, so this has to be aria dash label, and the same thing here. Pass the test. That's good news. So we can get rid of the screen debug here. Get rid of the only. Use the same little trick on the delete button. Unless the delete button doesn't care. Here we go. It changes the edit button label in cancel mode, and this is at line 85. Button icon. Indicate cancel. Okay, and here we're going to do the same thing here. So this one is not a thing. This is not, this is FA ban. Nice. Okay, so that test is fixed. I'm pretty sure we're going to have another failure on the form. We don't. Okay. So this was a fix of those. So this was a fix of to do tests is refactor with icons. Now, this is an example of brittle tests. So it may be better to think your way out of this a little more clearly. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another one. And it's not what I meant to do, but it showed another bug. So let's fix this bug now. We shouldn't be allowed to add an empty one. This one, so this is on to-do form. And in this form, it has a submit button. It adds a to-do, and it does not add a to-do if task is empty. So here I'm going to do basically the same exact thing here. Only I'm going to change it up. The task is going to be empty, and I'm going to expect it to have been called 0 times. This is going to cause an error. Okay, so now we can go and fix this. So to fix this, I just need to make sure that this doesn't happen unless everything else happens. So if task, then we can do this. That should fix it. Yep. So there's a bug fix. Add all the changes. We've got a fix for on to-do form is can submit empty. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for this one. And with all of this in place now, our front end is basically complete. And it's time to move to the back end.